How did Medellín transform itself from one of the most dangerous cities in the world to the #1 Instagrammable tourist destination in Colombia? Juan shared his vivid memories of his childhood overcoming gang violence and drug trafficking in Communa 13, which is now one of the incredible neighborhoods that Medellín has to offer. Follow me on this journey and how Medellín in the last 20 years has made itself into a vibrant, colorful metropolis that it is today. Together we will discover Communa 13's rough history and how it rose from the ashes through art, the incredible transformation of the cable cars in Colombia's only metro system. There's much to discover, and there's so much more to Medellín than that meets the eye. We pick up our adventure in Communa 13 with a guided tour from Julio, who grew up in this neighborhood.
It's not one neighborhood, it's 21 neighborhoods. Don't worry, there is no way we're going to visit 20 neighborhoods. It's impossible. We are going to visit one, okay?
Communa 13 was a product of the Narcos wars, and people fled into the hillside outside of Medellín to be safe from violence. But different guerrilla factions started to use this hillside to hide out. The Sierra Hills, where Communa 13 is located, was not recognized as part of the city.
Guys, Orion was pulled the 16th of October of 2002. I was just 2 years old. During the midnight of the 16th of October, more than 1,000 military members started to came up this neighborhood. They started to shut down the electricity so they could try to take advantage of us. Because we have 4 days, 4 different nights of military operation. But after Orion, we had almost a year with a public massacre financed by the government called falsos positivos, falses positives.
Julio continued to explain that in Operation Orion, which was a military operation, it took out 2 out of the 4 factions, ELN and CAP. However, this was not enough to declare a total victory. The paramilitary group FARC made a deal to help. They took over 1,000 people, dressed them in guerrilla uniforms, and made them disappear as a false positive. But how did Communa 13 transform itself, and where is it today? The answer lies in hip-hop, art, and tourism. Around 2005, many residents expressed their desire of peace through local street murals, as many feature birds as a local symbol of freedom. In 2006, the escalators were installed by the new mayor, and it helped the community to be connected better. The side effect ended up being tourism, and the spirit of the people like Julio made Communa 13 what it is today. Not just Communa 13, but also neighborhoods like El Poblado and Lorena have become popular for a fun night out. Here you can get drinks, dinner, and dance and be whisked away in the rhythms of the night. These places have transformed themselves in the real estate boom in the late 2000s, and are now some of the most popular neighborhoods to call home. The nightclubs and many other places do require you to dress up, so leave your shorts at home. Also, nights can become quite cool, as Medellín is at 5,000 feet elevation. We felt safe going out, as police requires you to see IDs at checkpoints to get into certain areas, and so it's generally a pretty safe area. We ended up staying out till 2 a.m. in the morning, dancing the night away, and just sitting and watching the crowds can be entertaining as well. And tomorrow we're going to Avri Park. Let's pick it up there.
So next up is the Avri Park and exploring the metro system, which is the pride of Medellín. So it's pretty clean, gets you everywhere, super cheap, and really easy to understand. So take the train from here. We're like staying in St. Laurel's to the side where we need to go. And then we take a cable car to Avri Park, and yeah, it's pretty easy so far.
The metro and cable car system has transformed Medellín and played a major role in the infrastructure revolution. The metro was introduced in 1995 and now has over 27 stations, 6 lines, 80 trains, and transports over 150 million people a year. The cable car alone has 6 different lines and transports around 30,000 people daily. Also, areas with cable cars have found an overall crime reduction.
Made it into the hiking path of the Avri Park. It's unbelievably beautiful. So, cable car takes about 30 minutes to get here, and we're literally like in the jungle now. And a very different type of jungle, more like a boreal forest, and it's super nice. And you can do a hike here, which is about an hour long, and it takes you all around the park, the Avri Park, and you pay an entrance fee for it, and they'll give you some water and whatnot, and you just follow all the signs. And yeah, let's just enjoy together. Where are we going this time? I asked myself that many times, especially traveling with Jamie, my companion for these adventures, who was in Bogota and Choachi, and now she's in Medellín with me, showing me around. And she wants to go to this place called Pueblito Paisa. I said it wrong. Public Park something. Industrial with a viewpoint, and it's supposed to be really good. So we're on our way up the hill to see it, and it's a workout. Look for yourself. So I'm here because this is on top of a hill, and that's a traditional part of Medellín or Colombia, and specific to this area. By the way, for those who were asking, yes, 168 beats per minute was my heartbeat. I'm clinically dead. Just kidding. But yeah, let's take a look around. It's like a nice little place. Public park area. Looks nice. The traditional food turned into a banana split because we were really hungry, and that was fast and yummy. But yeah, if you're interested in like seeing more of the traditional side of Colombian houses and homes and how it used to be within the city of Medellín, this place is a good place to go, and you can definitely come here during the day and check it out. You can go by taxi, you can actually walk up a hill too if you want, like we did, and spend like a couple of hours here, maybe have lunch. You can get traditional lunches here as well.
Así suena Ramiro LR.
And so this place we're at now is the Botero Plaza. And Botero, the artist, is probably the second most famous man in Colombia besides Pablo Escobar. And he should be way more famous, but he's definitely the most famous artist of South America. And he died last year. He was the bronze sculpture artist that has established himself since 1950. And so he's a pretty interesting character. He essentially like moved all over Europe, was in New York for a while, settled in Paris, and he had 3 kids. One of his sons died in a car accident, and later in his life, even like some of his work was inspired by his son who had passed away. But he's known for bronze statues that are essentially larger than life and have over-proportioned body figures. And so that's not just for like the art they have here at the Botero Plaza, but also inside the museums. So behind me is one of the museums. This is the Botero Museum, where you can see some of the art. And then there's an antique museum behind me as well that has a lot of history of Colombia. So the plaza here is definitely a cool place to check out, and definitely one of the stops I would recommend if you're discovering Medellín.
Corridos epidémicos. Fue aquel atardecer con tragos de licor. Buscaba yo tu amor borracho ya de nacer.
And still get entrance into the cultural museum here. So it is also part of this place where I was just talking about the Botero Museum. It's actually not Botero Museum. It's the Cultural and Antique Center of Colombia. That's my mistake. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful old building, and it's free, so you can just go in here and look at the exhibits. We made it to the top. There's actually a view platform where you can go all the way to the 4th floor. And this used to be actually a regional office for the governor in the 1700s, and then it got transformed over the years into different things. It was at one point a school, at one point a office for interior affairs. Now it's a concert hall and also a museum, and has like anything about Medellín and cultural significance. And you can go up here. So I would definitely recommend coming up here, because you not only get to see this cool building, but also check out this view. So you can come here and kind of walk around. It's pretty cool. And you get a little bit of a city view from Medellín. And you see through these cool arches. I mean, hello. The plaza is also the Zona Historico, which is the historical downtown center of Medellín, and it's a place of commerce. So what I would say is that you come here, you definitely see some things that might not be for you. And what I mean is something I didn't talk about a lot here since my time in Colombia: prostitution. So there's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot of people selling themselves, and it's really sad, because there's some of these people, they don't look like they're 18, and in general, I'm not a fan. And on the other hand, there's the church right here. So there's that. I don't know how those two reconcile, but you know, Zona Historico, from women to electronics to gold chains. It's kind of messed up. I mean, like, it is what it is, right? Like, I don't live here. It's not my country. But the fact that it's so prevalent everywhere and the amount of time that people have offered me, like girls or cocaine or other things, it's kind of nuts. But I haven't really talked about it because I want to show the good side of Colombia. But it's part of Colombia too, I guess. So it's part of life. So yeah, you can also buy clothes, shoes, anything you want in here. So it's kind of nuts. There's a lot going on here. I'm at the metro station now. On the downtown, like main metro station. At the Parque Barreto I was talking about earlier. And yeah, it's definitely a different vibe here. Basically just walk around between all these stalls and you can buy like anything you need, from clothes to hats to anything you need. So they got so much stuff for sale, it's not even funny. And yeah, just watch your shit basically. So be careful.
As you can see, Medellín transformed itself through people, infrastructure investments, art and tourism. Colombia is a wonderful country with safe areas, great people and fantastic music. The question is, will it ever overcome its dark history that seems to haunt Colombia? I think so. People are hopeful and the next generation will certainly change Colombia what it looks like today. This was my final video on this Colombia series and I hope you enjoyed it. But be sure to check out my series on Vietnam. Next up I will show you how to cross the border in Mexico. And don't forget to like and subscribe as it helps me to grow my channel.